Liverpool had the chance to get revenge, to get some pride back after getting hammered by Brighton a few weeks ago. And yeah, it was a lot better, but it wasn't enough. And Liverpool are now out of the FA Cup after losing 2-1 away from home against Brighton. Today's loss means in the last 6 games, Liverpool have won 1, drew 2, and lost 3, which is a really shocking run of form. And I gotta say, it is getting hard to watch Liverpool games this year. Now, the evidence that Klopp was happy with the performance of Liverpool in the last game against Chelsea was there, because he started with the same 11. We played a 4-3-3, although at times defensively it looked more like a 4-2-3-1, with Gakpo kind of at the tip of that press, Elliott and Salah a bit deeper on the sides. Thiago, even though he was an 8 on the left, he'd move inwards behind Gakpo to create that extra body. And similar to what Liverpool did against Chelsea, we started our press a lot deeper. We let Brighton have the ball at the back, and then once they moved into a certain part of the pitch, we'd have that compact formation and we'd start putting the challenges in. Defensive line was still pretty high, with Konate and Gomez starting. The criticism against Chelsea was that even though we were more compact, we were defensively better, we didn't get sliced open, at least through the midfield, we really lacked quality going forward and didn't really create many clear-cut chances. So in that sense, today was actually an improvement because we kept that solidity, at least early on in the game, or at least for about an hour, defensively, but we had more cutting edge today and we created some decent chances in the first half. So in that respect, some progress. We started the game with Elliott on the left-hand side of that front three, which, to be honest, I don't like him in that position at all. I wasn't very happy with the performance he had in the first kind of 25 minutes because off the ball, he just doesn't really offer anything. And then on the ball, he doesn't have the pace, doesn't have the strength to cause any real threat out wide. But in fairness to him, he was involved in the key moments of quality in the first half. The first good moment he played a brilliant through ball to Salah. 2 touches, first one to control, second ball played Salah in, one-on-one. Salah's on his left foot, his favourite foot, terribly drags the ball wide. I mean, what is happening to Salah? I'm getting sick of saying it. His finishing looks so poor at times. And we really needed that. But we just need him. We need him to stand up and actually show that he's one of our best players. But it was a great pass from Elliott. Then Elliott goes on to get the goal, which is an excellent finish on his right-hand side, weaker foot, plays the ball into the bottom corner. And he could have even had a second goal. He got played in again. I think it might have been from Gakpo that time. Unfortunately, his touch was a bit too far ahead of him. Lamptey got in and made the interception. But to be fair to Elliott, after what I thought was a poor start, he then even won the ball a couple of times, made a couple of interceptions, so it was at least showing, beyond the willingness to close down, he was showing some kind of activity off the ball, which was good to see. But you'll note that all his main moments of quality are more in the centre of the pitch. It's not really his game to be pulling out wide to the left. So you wonder, can we just get him involved in the areas where he can actually play to his strengths? Because he is good. He's got a good pass. He's got good vision. He's decent in tight places. His technique's good. He just doesn't have that pace or strength to be playing out wide. The story of the first half was Liverpool had some decent chances on the break. Salah had one cleared off the line from Dunk as well. And Liverpool, generally defensively, we were good. We were mostly vulnerable when we turned over possession sloppily. And Brighton could hit us on the transition. And that's something that we really need to work on, especially if you turn the ball over in their half, deep in their half, and we're still getting cut open because people are out of position. It just means we're not switched on to change back into defensive mode. But also some of the passing was really sloppy at times, just giving the ball away in poor positions, giving the initiative to Brighton. We did have Trent clear the ball off the line at one point in the first half. But overall, it was way better than a few weeks ago. Not that would have been difficult in the slightest. Trent had one other nice pass outside the right foot to Salah down the wing. But overall, Matomo is obviously a really good player. But the way he gets round Trent, it's like he's not even there at times. All he has to do is push the ball out wide onto his left foot and he'll beat him for pace. And when he cuts in, I mean, he just glides past him. And I think that was why he put Milner on after an hour, because Klopp probably just didn't trust Trent defensively to be able to deal with him. And something doesn't feel right when you're putting on a 37-year-old playing out of position to be a defensive upgrade to your right back. And I've been saying it for a long time now, but Trent is obviously good as a right back in a dominant side where he doesn't have to do a lot of defending. But when he does have to do a lot of defending, against any quality winger, he really struggles. And as good as Matoma is, he's not fucking Arjen Robben or Vinicius Jr. or Mbappe. And it's a concern. It's just too easy to beat him one-on-one. Brighton got back into the game though from a set play, which again is disappointing. Both their goals came from set plays, or at least they originated from set plays. I said last week against Chelsea, we were awful from them. There's no point being so good in open play defensively if you can't defend set plays, because the opposition are just going to get them. You can't stop the opposition getting set plays throughout a game. Brighton were fortunate though with that first goal. I mean, Lamptey shot from 25, 30 yards out, deflects off dunk, nothing really Alisson could have done. What I will say though is teams who are really dogged with set plays, really switched on with it, don't tend to concede those kinds of goals. So it was unlucky, but we just really need to tighten up overall in those kinds of situations. As I said though, around the hour mark, we made 3 subs. Trent came off, Henderson came on, Milner came on, Núñez came on. Henderson did okay. Núñez, his link-up play leaves so much to be desired. He's so sloppy at times with his link-up play. Things seem to just break down around him. And again, similar as the game against Chelsea, Núñez came on and played on the left, which is, you're kind of wondering, why isn't he down the centre? We bought Gakpo. Gakpo's best position is as a left winger. Núñez is clearly a centre forward, but we're playing Núñez on the left and Gakpo in the centre. You can only think that Gakpo, he seems like maybe a more intelligent or more tactically disciplined player than Núñez. He seems to be triggering the press. He's dropping a bit deeper when we do have the ball to, I guess, fulfill some of that 10 position play that Firmino used to be so good at. And that's probably why Klopp's playing Núñez on the left and Gakpo in the centre. But something about it doesn't feel right as well, because we paid 85 million for Núñez. You knew we would. It was obvious he wasn't a good link player. He's an out and out forward, and it just seems like we've got these 2 expensive players and we're playing neither of them in their best position. Need to find a solution for that. We somewhat contained Brighton in the second half until the subs, to be honest, in particular then when Fabinho came on. What is happening to Fabinho? He is so bad. He's been so bad for so long. His drop-off is just alarming. He's gone from one of the best DMs in the world to he's definitely not Premier League level right now. He comes on, gives it away sloppily. He's trying to get involved in the play, but he looks so slow. He's just kicking people, giving away free kicks. Could have been sent off. Had a terrible tackle on Ferguson. It looked like he thought he was going to get sent off. I mean, Bajcetic was kind of running out of steam, I think, at that point in the game. But what in the world's going on? If Fabinho can't even play well for a 20-minute cameo, But at that point, Klopp seemed to... He definitely didn't want to replay, that's for sure. And we actually, once the subs came on, we started trying to press Brighton higher up the field, which it worked a couple times. There were a few turnovers, but then they started playing through us again and started getting more opportunities in the counter. We just don't look like we can play that high press anymore. I thought Gomez had a decent game. He played well, but he still just looks like he has a mistake in him all the time. Or every game at least. There was one clearance in the second half with his left foot. He hits it straight to a Brighton player who's about 10, 15 yards from goal. Kanate has to dive in and make a shot-saving challenge. He just needs to clean up those mistakes. Because Matip looks out of form as well. It seems like Matip, he plays well with Van Dijk, but not without him. There are some positive signs though of Kanate and Gomez playing as centre halves. I thought Kanate had another really good game. Again, physically, strength-wise, pace, he shows a lot of quality, shows like he can dominate a forward, and he's going to be a really important player for Liverpool going forward. I do feel bad for Thiago. Remember where Klopp had Lallana playing when he was at Liverpool? There was one point where Lallana was actually in really good form. He was almost just, he was triggering the press. He was running everywhere. He had a great engine. He could use his energy. He was winning the ball back early. It's almost like Thiago's having to do that, cover so much ground, putting in tackles, doing a lot of dogged work. He's just, I mean, he's actually surprisingly good in the tackle considering his size and his strength and his pace. But it's just not his game. We need runners to be covering ground like that. People who can run all day and are quicker. It's kind of like we have a lot of players playing roles that aren't really playing to their strengths right now. And I always felt like in the past that was one thing that Klopp is really good at. We had players, the way they were playing the game, he was getting them to do more of the things they could do, and not putting them in the positions that they had to do the things that they couldn't do. And it feels like right now we just have a lot of people trying to kind of square peg round hole sort of situations. But overall, what's going to be interesting to see is, does Klopp keep up this deeper press in games against less talented opposition? We did it against Chelsea, we did it against Brighton away. Are we going to maintain it in the average Premier League game? We probably need to, unfortunately. Which means we're not going to be this dominant side that we've been. It's probably gone for now. We look, today we were a counter-attacking side. On the plus side, we're not getting sliced open through the midfield like we were so much, but we're going to have to improve so much defensively if we're going to make this kind of strategy work. We need to tighten up in the set plays. We need to tighten up on the situations when we turn over the ball, but also the frequency that we're turning it over. The concern, though, is that even though we're putting so much focus on our play defensively, Brighton still scored 2 goals, and Trent still cleared one off the line, and Alisson still made a top save. We're still conceding too many chances, and we're blunted going forward. We need to find a balance, need to improve things. I really think Jota coming back will make a big difference, because he's an excellent presser. He's got a good engine. That could make a big difference. Get Van Dijk back. Big improvements needed. It's a tough watch being a Liverpool fan these days. Look, it looks like things are going to be rough for the foreseeable future. What can I say? What were your thoughts on the game anyway? Did you see improvement from Liverpool today? Are you happy with the performance? Or any signs of what Liverpool were trying to do? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.